finally time for custom doors. Okay, this will probably be a long video, but let's do it. So, for starters, these are the pockets. They're actually broken on this door. They're coming off, so that I can put on my 2-focal Flax. Okay, so we've taken the grill off that one. So that gives you a rough idea already of where the speakers are going. They will sit into the door a little bit. I don't have a lot of depth in there. Pretty much the motor will be in the door, probably. So they are going to bulge out quite a lot to fit them in, because they're not small exactly. What I got to do now, there's my center point. I cut out with a router outside of this, okay, until I get to where it gets straight. Same on both sides. Then I'll have to cut it straight, okay. Then that'll be the outside. So I've got a nice round edge. Then I got to cut the inside out, the entire circle on both. So then I've just left with that ring, okay, because that ring will be what's wrapped in the grill cloth. You saw me mark them, now I've cut them out. So as I said, that's halfway, roughly on both with the router. Okay, now I just use a like jigsaw straight along there. A nice straight cut on both, and I've got a perfect oval. But while it's still attached now, because I've still got some obviously strength to it, I'll cut out these inner circles. Both circles cut out. Alright, so now yeah, got to link those with the jigsaw and link those with the jigsaw. Alright, and there's our ring. Just gave it a quick sand, but that's good. So cool. Trace that out and make another one. There's our rough cut one on the bottom. Double-sided tape to that one on. So now we'll just get the router out and we'll flush that with that little flush trim bit. That guy done. So I got 2 of those now. Still got to cut the inside one out, but now we'll also give you a rough idea how big it is on the door. So that's both those proper rings done, and then these are the rings that the woofers will be actually mounted on. So what I'm going to do is route those now, but they'll be about 1/4 of an inch, so pretty much not much different to as they are now. They'll just obviously be properly rounded. So I'm going to go put a bigger bearing on my flush trim bit. There's my 1/4 inch router bit with the bearing off the 1/2 inch one, which yeah, just worked awesome because I just did one of them here. So gives me 1/4 of an inch roughly all the way around. Pretty happy with those. It's taken me 2 hours to make them, so fucking better be. Just constant, you know, have to router one thing, take it all apart, router the next thing. But anyway, they're done now. Cut perfect holes, gave them a little round over on those as well. Okay, so I've got these. It's just thick cardboard. Alright, it's pretty strong. So that is going to wrap, I'll do 2 pieces at a time. That'll wrap around it. Okay, I've cut it obviously at 24mm, 12 and 12, so it sits the same height then as the inside. So that's going to wrap around that guy and staple to it. I did end up doing the double cardboard, just 2 layers. It needed to be that little bit thicker. I just felt, you know, if I'm putting pressure on it when I'm stretching fleece over. But alright, so you get the idea. That sits in there. That gap is the gap for the carpet to tuck into, and the grill will just push in, hopefully pressure fit. You know, worst case I'll have to screw it on from the back or something, but I would say it'll pressure fit. Okay, so just cut a chunk out of the door there. So that's the carpet and the crappy foam padding, whatever stuff that's 30 years old. So now we'll just, again, I'll get my air saw and we'll just cut that guy out. Now I'm definitely going to cut this one out. There's no structural problems if I cut this out. This one on the other hand is linking like through there. Now I know I have to cut this out, but if I cut that out and I can also put it on a slight slant this way, I might be able to leave that in. Okay, so that's it there. So I'll show you. The handle sits, you can see that groove there. Well, this sits right up against that handle. It's sunk a little because of the tape that's on it, but it sits right under that handle, straight, okay? And it goes up there, follows that natural line of the door. And now this is the last bit. I've just got to mark where that dash is, so when it shuts the door, so I know where to cut just there. Otherwise though, it's just following the curve of the door, obviously. And so the courtesy light will be here somewhere, and obviously the speaker's there. Alright, and 6 seconds later the other one's done, because I flipped it. So that's the other door. That one, because it's clean on this side, you get a better idea, I think. Left that straight edge there and used the wood for that one. Alright, so I'm just going to cut those out now with a jigsaw. There we go. So I got the two of them. I've had them stapled together, nailed together. I flush trimmed them, and then while they were nailed, sanded them. So they're both identical, and also both, you know, sanded to the exact same contours because they were together. So here we go. Here's the door. On there, there's two screws on there. So besides, there's a little bit there. I've got to sand, as you can see there. The gap gets smaller, so I've got to sand that back on both sides. Besides that, though, it all fits and clears, and it's really nice and tight and everything. It's gonna look good. All right. After much thinking, I'm doing it flat, as in like that. I'm not doing any weird angle, so I'm not tilting it that way, and I'm not tilting it that way. I'm just doing it flat. I'm thinking it's gonna look better because again the door is dead flat. There's no curve in the door, so I may as well make it dead flat. So all I've done at the moment, I glued and just put a nail in the little legs I made, and then I've just put 2 tacks in at the moment just to hold that go. So I was happy, and I am happy with that already. And that's where the courtesy light's going to go, but it's not on that panel because I'm making other panels. And there's both of them done. So that's how that sits. As you can see, it's about 1.5 centimeters in on that side and the bottom. So it's about 1.5 centimeters in from the bottom and about 1.5 from the side. Again, it's all going to be fiberglass anyway, and I'll end up just body filling it, but it's, you know, roughly. The light's on the bottom of the door, because that's normally where they are, kind of towards the bottom. Okay, and one little final touch before the fleece, as you can see, there's little skinny bits there. I've just hot glued them in. They're purely just so for the shape of the fleece, so that the fleece doesn't bow like that. I wanted it to be straight. So that's all they are, is to give it a straight angle, and same when it goes down. So that's purely what they're for. They're not load bearing or anything strong. Alright, so that concludes part 1 of the fiberglass pods. As you can see right now, I'm up to sanding the body filler. So I'm actually quite far ahead, but in editing I'm a bit behind. So that's part 1, you got to see them start from nothing, build the rings, everything. So part 2, there's only going to be 2 parts. Part 2 will be fiberglass body filler, wrapping, install. So keep watching. Hope you were happy with that half of the video though. Probably the second half is going to be a little bit more exciting, actually see stuff, but cool, that's that. Alright, stay tuned for part 2.